to 8, the matter of the marriage of Katie Banzett and Chris Banzett. So since we're on Zoom, I'm going to call people's names and just ask you to identify yourself. So for the petitioner, Ms. Cross, if you'd identify yourself.
Yes, sir. Carol Cross, attorney for petitioner.
And then Ms. Banzett, to state your name.
Katie Banzett.
And then Mr. Anderson for respondent.
John Anderson for respondent, Chris Banzett.
And Mr. Banzett.
This is Chris Banzett.
All right. So Ms. Cross, do you have any witnesses other than your client?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
And Mr. Anderson, any witnesses other than your client?
Just my client, Judge.
All right. So if I can get both Mr. and Ms. Banzett to raise their right hands. And do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, great. All right. So Ms. Cross, I know you and Mr. Anderson have talked ahead of time. You'd filed a...
All right, guys, this judge didn't waste a second. The moment court opened, you could feel tension crackle through the Zoom call. A calm judge, 2 lawyers ready to clash, and a sneaky plan waiting to be exposed. Katie Banzett walks in with confidence, but behind that quiet tone hides a storm of manipulation. She thinks today will be easy, but this judge isn't fooled by fake tears or lawyer tricks. What starts as routine formalities is about to unravel into a courtroom showdown you won't forget.
Requested relief for temporary orders. Are there some agreement?
I believe there are, and I will recite our understanding of the portion that's agreed, and Mr. Anderson can correct me if I missed something. I believe there's an agreement with the provisions under conservatorship as posed in our requested relief that the parties be named as temporary joint managing conservators, with my client having the exclusive right to designate the primary residence within Austin County and counties contiguous to Austin County, the exclusive right to receive child support, exclusive right to make invasive medical decisions, psychiatric and psychological decisions, enlistment in the military and marriage, and educational decisions. All the other rights and duties would be independent between the parties. I believe the parties have agreed that respondent shall have possession of the minor child at all times as the parties agree, and then failing agreement per a standard possession order. And obviously, given the current circumstances, that would also include over 100-mile provisions. We had asked that the parties have reasonable electronic access to the child during the other parent's periods of possession. Mr. Anderson asked for specifically FaceTime.
The attorneys lay the foundation: child custody, property, and what seems like a simple dispute. But there's one hidden detail: a massive $100,000 debt Katie allegedly dumped on her ex-husband, Chris. While she tries to sound composed, her lawyer reads agreements that seem fair until the debt allocation is mentioned. The judge pauses, sensing something off. You can practically hear the hesitation in his tone. Behind the polite "Yes, Your Honor," both sides are bracing for battle. This is where courtroom diplomacy ends and exposure begins.
With 8 to 8:30 p.m. in the time zone of the child, and Ms. Banzett is fine with that. And then my client would have possession of the child at all other times. The temporary orders for property, I believe the parties have agreed that each party will have the temporary use and possession of the motor vehicle in their possession, as well as the personal property. My client would have the 2022 Hyundai Sonata. Respondent would have the 2015 Ford F-150, the 2019 Suzuki. I assume that's a motorcycle. And then the personal property in his possession. Where the parties disagree is the allocation of debt and the calculation of the child support.
All right. So Mr. Anderson, is that your understanding? Is there anything else? And Mr. Anderson, you're muted.
Sorry, Judge.
All right. So was that your agreement As far as what Ms. Cross read, is there anything else that either is agreed or anything else we need to talk about?
Judge, the agreement was proper. The disagreement is, yes, on the calculation.
Ms. Cross recites a list of rights and duties like a script, but the energy shifts once money enters the picture. Chris's lawyer, Mr. Anderson, calmly interjects, questioning every number and term. He knows Katie's been strategizing. The judge leans forward, studying the expressions, piecing together what's really going on. When the issue of debt hits the floor, silence falls. The wife pretends confusion, the husband watches quietly, and the tension becomes so thick it could slice through the air. Something big is coming.
The child support, as well as the, long distance travel and the debts. So.
And I'm sure there'll be some testimony, but just for calculation of child support, how many total children will Mr. Banzett have that he's paying child support for?
He has 3 total children, Judge, that he's responsible for.
I think that is part of the issue, Your Honor. Although Mr. Banzett has 2 other biological children, there is no duty of support that has been formalized into any form of order, is my understanding.
Well, I mean, do you understand though, is it your understanding that just when I'm going to be determining child support, that I'll look at the percentage that will apply for 3 children, or do you say the percentage it'll apply will just be 1 child?
Well, I think the argument could be made that if there is no support going to those children, then instead of the 16% that would be the offset for the 2 other children outside of the court, that it should be the full 20% due to the 1 child who is before the court. I believe the code calculates children for whom there is a duty of support. And it's my understanding, and I may be wrong, Mr. Banzett can certainly testify.
Now, things start heating up. The judge questions Chris's responsibilities: 3 kids, multiple homes, and 1 active military job. It sounds noble until Katie's side tries twisting that narrative. They argue Chris doesn't legally support his other kids, meaning he should pay more here. But the judge knows better. The law might count numbers, but fairness counts reality. You can almost see Katie's lawyer pushing that manipulation harder, trying to stretch child support law into a weapon. The trap is set, but not for long.
If I am incorrect, that Mr. Banzett is not supporting those other children by agreement of those parties.
Okay.
Judge, that just because on a piece of paper, which I haven't seen anything to show of what Ms. Cross is talking about, but just because he is on a piece of paper, he doesn't owe child support to another party, does not mean he's not supporting that child and have a duty to support that child. So,
And
we would argue that it's based on the 16%.
okay. And if that's the argument, then I can hear testimony about that. Miss Cross, do you have a number in mind that you consider to be Mr. Banzett's monthly net?
I do, Your Honor. It would be $7,114.65.
And
Mr. Anderson was kind enough to produce an April leave and earnings statement. It appears he's had no other factors unless he's had a promotion that would change that amount. But that's based on $5,027.40 base pay.
When the court dives into Chris's income, the numbers explode. $7,114 versus $4,982, completely different versions of his paycheck. Katie's lawyer inflates every penny, using his military benefits to justify a higher payout. But Mr. Anderson stands his ground. The judge, unimpressed, demands evidence. This is no guessing game, it's about the truth. Katie starts realizing her lawyer's math might not hold up. The judge's calm tone hides a razor edge. The financial fog she hoped to hide behind is beginning to clear.
Taking out $737.75 in taxes, adding in the $406.98 BAS, the $21.69 BAH. And on this leave and earning statement, he also had family separation which was $250.
All right, so Mr. Anderson, what do you show the monthly net to be?
Judge, we took the wage year to date, and we came up with, of 49,6950 with a net of.
And you're breaking up, Mr. Anderson, so just tell me, I guess, what do you show as the monthly net to be for Mr. Banzette?
$4,098.71, Judge.
Your Honor, Your Honor, this is Chris.
Hold on,
Banzett.
hold on.
Mr. Anderson will ask you questions when we get to that. Okay, so we have about a $3,000 difference on monthly net, and we'll get some testimony on that. So Ms. Cross, if you want to call your first witness,
Thank you. We'd call Katie Banzette.
you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Banzette, would you please state your name?
Katie Banzette.
And you are the petitioner on the case before.
All right, guys, this is where it gets wild. The judge calls Katie to the stand. Suddenly, that confident voice turns shaky. She admits Chris sends $600 monthly even before any official order. That's not a man dodging responsibility. That's a father trying his best. The courtroom energy flips. Her attorney tries to steer the narrative back, but the truth's already out there. Every yes, ma'am from Katie feels smaller now. She realizes the judge sees through her. This was never about justice. It was about leverage.
this court. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You've heard the agreements that we've read into the record, and you agreed to the terms as stated, correct?
Yeah.
And your husband has been contacting your daughter, Emma, pretty much on a daily basis by telephone?
When he can, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Sometimes his work gets in the way. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. And you understand that your husband is in Georgia and is not able to exercise the possession that I'm sure that both he and the child would like to see happen. But you understand that the standard possession schedule will be the schedule when he is able to do so.
Yes.
Okay. Your husband, I believe, has asked for an offset for travel that he may or may not be able to use for his visits. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Disagree.
Okay. Is that something that you would like the judge to take into consideration?
Uh,
Go ahead.
I just said, I don't know.
But
Katie confirms what we all suspected. Chris calls his daughter daily, even while stationed far away. That kind of consistency from a father destroys her image of a negligent man. When asked about travel expenses and offsets, Katie's voice stumbles. She disagrees, yet can't explain why. The judge notices. Every hesitation, every pause, it's written all over her face. The courtroom can sense it too. Her plan to frame him as distant and irresponsible just collapsed under her own words. Game over? Not yet.
is that something you'd like the judge to decide then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Since the pendency of this case, your husband has been sending support to you and Emma. Is that correct?
Yes.
How much has your husband been sending?
$600 around the first of the month, each month.
Okay. And
January.
okay. And sometimes it's later than that. Sometimes it's,
Objection, leading.
Objection's overruled.
so you have no problem giving him credit for the support that's been paid to date, correct?
Correct.
All right. You've heard the calculation to the court regarding the child support and the numbers for his base pay and other entitlements. Are those consistent with the information that you've had as his spouse?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
And the research that you've done, is that also consistent with these amounts?
Objection, leading, Judge.
Yeah, objection sustained. Will Ms. Banzette be able to just give testimony as far as income?
I believe that she sought information and
As the testimony deepens, Miss Cross tries to lead Katie into saying Chris earns more than he admits. Objection sustained. The judge won't allow guesswork. Katie fumbles, unsure of his earnings, exposing how little she really knows. The truth cuts through her performance. She can't even verify the debts she's demanding he pay. The judge leans back, silent but calculating. Everyone senses it. She's losing control. That calm courtroom demeanor? Gone. What's left is a woman caught in her own contradictions, live on record.
obtained answers to her questions about that prior to retaining me.
Okay, well, if Ms. Banzett, if you know something, you can sure testify to it. And if you don't know, you just have to say you don't know. You may proceed, Ms. Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Regarding the two other children that your husband has, what is your understanding of the status of that relationship?
Objection, speculation, Judge, about her understanding of another relationship with Mr. Banzett. And
We can get that through Mr. Banzett. Let me just for my notes here. So Ms. Banzett, what are the names of the two other children?
Kendall and Carmen.
Okay, and where does Kendall live? What state?
They both live in Texas.
All right, so Ms. Cross, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Since you've been married to Chris, has Mr. Banzett paid child support for those children?
Now comes the bombshell moment. Katie's asked about Chris's two other kids, Kendall and Carmen. Her lawyer tries to twist the story, implying he abandoned them. But when pressed for details, she has nothing. She doesn't even know their current situation. The courtroom turns quiet. The judge shuts down speculation, cutting through emotional manipulation like a blade. Every false narrative she built about Chris being a deadbeat dad evaporates. It's becoming painfully clear this wife wasn't a victim of lies. She was the author.
I'll pass the witness. I'm sorry, let me go back if I may, I apologize. Regarding the division of the debts, your husband has asked that you assume some responsibility for credit card debt that has been incurred. Do you agree or disagree with paying the credit card debt? I'm sorry?
I disagree to
Okay.
pay.
And why is it that you disagree with paying what's been represented to be a $2,400 Best Buy account, a $4,000 Capital One account, and other debts as well?
Because he wanted those. He just needed my income to get a higher amount. Those were his purchases.
All right. And so do you have any information as to any of the purchases on any of those credit cards that would constitute that total?
I believe he would have the statements. I don't have access to it.
So you don't know where any.
And here's where the financial deception surfaces. The credit card debt's Best Buy, Capital One, she refuses to share responsibility. Her reason? He wanted those. She admits he only used her name to increase credit, but the purchases were his. Yet when asked for proof, she can't provide a single statement. Her story starts crumbling. You can practically feel the judge's patience thinning. This isn't just a financial disagreement. This is manipulation, signed and sealed in her own testimony.
Any of the items on those credit cards, items that were purchased for the benefit of yourself or Emma?
I mean, washer, dryer, but I mean, not personally, I guess.
Okay. And are you also paying credit cards?
Yes, I have my own.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Mr. Anderson.
thank you, Judge. Man, when did you and Mr. Banzett split?
Meaning when I
When did you move out?
Well, October last year.
Okay. So y'all separated around November 2021?
Yes, sir.
So since November of 2021, you don't know what he's been doing to contribute to these other two children, do you?
No.
And you said that
The husband's attorney steps in like a sniper. He calmly establishes dates, timelines, and logic, everything Katie can't keep straight. The credit cards were used before their separation, meaning both benefited. She tries to dodge, but logic doesn't bend. Her "I don't know" becomes the theme of her defense. The judge watches like a hawk. Every time she avoids accountability, her credibility sinks further. The trap she built to bury her ex-husband in debt is now swallowing her whole.
there was a washer and dryer purchased on these credit cards by you guys,
Yes.
but you can't recall anything else, right? Is that your testimony?
Yeah, to my knowledge. I mean, I'm sure there was other stuff, but I don't know.
Okay. So it's fair to say the cards were used for everybody's benefit, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
Yeah, well, she can objection overruled. She can testify if she knows.
Yes.
All right. And so any credit card purchases after November 21, that would not be for your benefit, correct?
For me or him?
For you.
I don't know.
Okay. Did he buy something and send it to you after November of 21?
No.
Okay. So then on these credit cards, if it's all from previous to November of 21, that would be the amount of time when y'all were together, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This part's brutal, guys. Katie admits Chris handled most finances. She doesn't even know what debts exist. The moment she says, "I didn't handle financials," the courtroom tone changes completely. You can see the judge noted down a clear red flag. She wanted him to pay everything, yet she can't even explain the bills. That's not financial hardship. That's manipulation disguised as ignorance. And the judge, he's piecing it all together faster than she realizes.
I'm not trying to trick you, I promise. I'm just trying to get a line. Okay. And he's been paying you $600 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he takes care of the insurance, correct?
Yes. Military.
Okay. All right. I passed the witness. Thank you.
Ms. Cross?
Katie, have you seen any of the credit card statements that your husband is asking you to assume responsibility for?
No.
All right. So when you were asked by Mr. Anderson if you know what's been purchased or if it's been purchased prior to the date of separation, do you have any personal knowledge of that?
No.
No further questions of this witness.
Mr. Anderson?
Katie, you knew about these credit cards when y'all applied for them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Ms.
Nothing
Cross?
further. Nothing further of this witness.
And so, Ms. Banzette, a few things so that I can keep my notes up here.
Mr. Anderson presses hard. Did she keep anything from Georgia? Washer, dryer, clothes, nothing else. She tries to look innocent, but every answer strengthens Chris's case. The attorney highlights the contradiction. The cards were used for family purchases, yet she denies responsibility. Her selective memory is falling apart. This isn't about emotion anymore, it's about accountability. And the judge's silence says it all. He's building towards something decisive, something that's about to flip this entire case on its head.
Where is the washer and dryer that were purchased on the credit cards?
I have them with me in storage.
And now are they paid off, or is that something that there's still a monthly debt?
That I don't know. I would assume paid off, but I'm not sure.
And do you have any, apparently you don't have any interest if they're in storage, but do you want that washer and dryer?
I mean, yes, he said I could have it for, yes, sir.
Okay. And now you said you have your own credit cards. Who's that with? Is it, Chase, American Express? What?
I just have a Maurice's clothing store credit card. That's it.
And can you use that if you're buying, gas or groceries or anything like that?
Sir, it's just for clothes for my daughter and I.
Okay. And so do you use a credit card for anything else, any other purchases, meals, gas?
No, sir.
And is this credit card that's in dispute, who is that with?
Katie's voice starts shaking under cross-examination. She admits the washer and dryer were purchased on the credit card and she still has them. Yet she refuses to pay. That's the turning point. You can feel the courtroom energy change completely. The judge's expression tightens. He's done with her evasions. The very proof of her dishonesty is sitting in her storage unit. This is no longer just financial drama. It's a live unraveling of deceit, caught word for word in open court.
And do you know if it's Chase, American Express, Bank of America?
My credit card that I use?
No, this one in dispute, the one. Am I understanding there's one credit card that?
No, Judge.
Okay, so let me ask Ms. Banzette, how many credit cards are there out there that have debt?
I have no idea. I didn't handle financials.
All right, so Ms. Cross, anything else that you want to follow up with?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Anderson, any other follow-up questions to Ms. Banzette?
Just one other question. Other than the washer and dryer, ma'am, what other items do you have in your possession that were put on credit cards that you have?
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
When the judge asks about her own credit cards, she casually admits having one for clothes. Nothing more. But that simple admission exposes her further. She's not drowning in debt. She's been selective with spending. Meanwhile, she wants her ex to shoulder thousands for joint credit cards she never even used responsibly. The judge nods slightly, absorbing every detail. Katie has no clue she's already lost the moral high ground. Every soft-spoken answer is another nail in her case,